Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I did this makeup look that I actually did a few weeks ago. I did it like I was recreating a TikTok thing. What is my cat doing? He's like making noise over there. I was doing like a TikTok video and this makeup look was in it, but I wanted to recreate it for my YouTube. So here we are. Yeah, I hope you try it out because it's actually really fun to do and it's just so pretty, I think. So yeah, if you want to see how to do it, I'm like stuttering, keep watching. Okay, so this is gonna be a full makeup tutorial here. I have the post on my computer, my Instagram post, so that I can reference the picture, because when I did the makeup look the first time, I was doing it for like a TikTok trend thing, whatever. I have my TikTok and my Instagram down below, by the way. But I was doing it for the trend, so I was just doing it based off of a picture. So I don't remember like every step I took. So I'm gonna try my best to recreate it today. So yeah, we're gonna start with primer. I have every single product here that I used for that makeup look, except this, because I used all of it. The face primer that I used was the First Aid Beauty Ultra Hydrating Repair something primer. I don't remember. But I used all of it because it was like a little sample. So now I've been using the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. I love this. This is my second bottle of this, so I just took it out of my collection again. And I'm just putting 2 pumps on the back of my hand. And then I'm taking this Madison Miller, SL Miss Glam Madison Miller MO2 full foundation brush to apply it, just so our face can get primed and prepped and let this sink in a little bit before we go directly in with foundation, because we're gonna do our eyes first so that we can clean up any messes. And I already applied a lip balm to prep my lips. It's the Too Faced like peach lip balm that I've been using. I got it in my advent calendar for Christmas. So yeah, I'm just putting this everywhere, even down my neck. And then we're gonna get started with prepping the eyes. So I'm gonna take a concealer, and the concealer that I used was the Joa Beauty Wand Me Up concealer in the shade Fair. So I'm going to apply this to the back of my hand, like that. And then I'm gonna take a brush, which is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. And I'm just going to prep my lids with this concealer. And I'm extending it pretty far out because I wing the blue shadow out pretty far. Okay, our eyes are prepped. I don't remember if I set the lids with like a nude shadow or not, or like a translucent powder, so I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. But now we can get straight into the shadow. The palettes that I used were the Morphe 35i Icy Fantasy palette and the Makeup Revolution Roxy Roxsource Color Burst palette. So I'm gonna open these up and try to remember which shades I used. I honestly don't remember. This is what the Morphe palette looks like. It's super pastel and pretty. And then this is the Makeup Revolution palette. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna try, I don't know, I'm gonna bring my computer closer so that I can see the image better. But I really don't remember what I did. I wanna say I took this blue shade, which is called Into the Blue, right here. So I'm gonna take that on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna use this MAC 217 brush, and I'm just gonna pat out these creases in my eyes and just start going in with that blue shade on my brush. I'm gonna kind of pack it. Well, I'm just gonna start blending it. I don't know. It might not come out exactly the way that I had done it the first time. So now with the same brush, I think I'm gonna go in with this Blue Lagoon shade from the Makeup Revolution palette. And I think I'm gonna start to build that up on the lid and then slightly blend it into the crease. And I'm just gonna take a clean, fluffy eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna take this Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH30 brush with nothing on it and just diffuse the edges a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna start building up this outer corner here. I think I'm gonna take the Twilight shade. I'm pretty sure this is what I used. And I'm using this with the Morphe M506 brush. It's like a little blender. And I'm going to start to apply this to the outer lash line and just like going back and forth and slowly dragging it across the entire lash line once I have less product on my brush and I'm really winging it out like that, like it's super messy. And I'm gonna go back in with that blue shade that we used first with that MAC brush and just blend over that to diffuse it so it's not as harsh. Okay, so now it's a little bit deeper on these outer corners. We're gonna go in even more and build it up. I feel like I should use a really small brush. I'm gonna use the Morphe M213 brush and I'm gonna mix the Twilight shade and this Cocoa shade right here. And I'm just going to do the same thing but keep it really tight on the lash line and going in with just more of Twilight. I feel like this is a lot more blue than it was the first time I did it, like on my lids, but whatever. And then I'm going back in with that smaller blending brush with no additional product and just blending over that. All right, now I'm gonna take like a more shimmery shade to go over the lid. The shade I'm gonna use is this Sky shade in the Makeup Revolution palette, and I'm just gonna take that on my finger and apply it all over my eye space, especially in like the inner part. This is really gonna lighten it up and create that like shimmery, icy vibe like that. I think that looks really cool. All right, I'm gonna clean this up with a makeup wipe just so I can see it better because it's really messy down here. That's why I like to do my eyes first when I'm doing like more colorful looks, because you can just clean it up with a makeup wipe and you don't have to worry about ruining your base. I just can't get this makeup wipe out of the package. Hello. So I'm going to clean up under here, and I'm not going to go like directly against my under eye over here. I'm kind of gonna go a little bit further out so that the shadow continues onto this lower lash line right there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I think that looks so cool. Cleaning up the shadow with the makeup wipe really helps you see what you have going on a lot better. Like, this looks pretty good to me. I actually think it looks better than the first time I did it. It's a little bit more like tealy blue on the lids, but I like it. I'm gonna go on to foundation. The foundation that I used was the Anastasia, oh, I think I just got concealer in my hair. Was the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. I have the shade 140N, and I'm gonna take 2 pumps of this because I've been wearing a little bit more foundation lately just because I've been liking the way it looks. And then I'm gonna take this e.l.f. Airbrush Blender brush and just start to brush this on my face, and then I'm gonna go in with the sponge after and blend over it so that there's no brush marks. Okay, so I just finished blending with the brush and I dragged it down my neck as well. So I'm going to take this extra foundation here and my e.l.f. sponge and just blend over everything and adding a little bit more coverage where I feel I need it. And then I'm going to go in with some cream contour, and the one that I used last time was the Juvia's Place, the shade stick, like multi-purpose foundation stick thing in the shade Madagascar. This is a little bit warm, but this is what I used last time. So I'm just going to use it again, and I'm applying it to the back of my hand. And then, oh, it's kind of like melty. I'm going to take a brush. This is the BH Cosmetics 128 brush. And I'm just going to start cream contouring, bronzing, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to contour my cheekbones, my forehead, my jawline, and my nose. So basically the perimeters of my face. To help just blend this jaw contour, I'm just taking my sponge and going over it. And we're going to bring some powder bronzer down there too, so we're not going to worry about that yet. But then I'm going to take for my nose this Morphe E62 brush and contour it. Alright, now that cream contour is done, we can move on to concealer. I'm going to go back in with some more of that Wand Me Up concealer on the back of my hand and that same e.l.f. concealer brush and just apply this where I want to highlight. So I'm going to go under my eyes and I'm going to go also over blemishes and I'm going to apply it to my chin and my upper lip and my forehead. And I'm just being careful with this under eye area. And I'm also going to apply a little bit by my nose as well. And then I'm taking the brush and just patting around my contour on my cheekbones so that the edges aren't as harsh. And yeah, that's the concealer all done. I really love this base combination. I feel like the products just look really well together. So now we can do some powder bronzer. I'm using the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Bronzer in the shade Sunlit Glow. And I'm taking my BH Cosmetics 124 brush and just swirling that and applying that everywhere where I did the cream. So this one is a little bit more cool toned, so it's going to kind of tame that cream down a little bit because it was super warm. And for my nose, I'm going to use that same Morphe E62 brush. There we have that. So now I'm just going to tap these under eyes because the concealer creased a tiny bit. And we're going to do some loose setting powder. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent because that's what I used the last time I did this look. I'm just using all the same products. Even though you can do this look with different products, I'm just using the same ones because I own them and I'm trying to get the closest results I can to the last time I did it. So yeah, I'm just going to apply this to the sides of my nose to clean up the contour and baking under the eyes slightly, not too much. And I don't leave this on for long at all, just like a few minutes. And then I apply it underneath. And then I'm tapping whatever's left on my sponge on my chin and my upper lip. And I'm taking a little bit for in between my brows in the center of my forehead because I don't want to get too oily there. And then I'm going to take this Morphe sponge with this really thin edge and just take some of that powder and apply it to the center of my nose, try to get it as straight as possible. Today it's not the straightest, but you know, it's fine. So now we have that down. We're going to do some powder blush and like dust away this bake. So the powder blush I'm going to use is this Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shade Dolly. I actually love this so much that I bought another shade at Ulta. It's the shade Havana, but I'm not using that today. I'm using this Dolly shade. And I'm going to use, what blush brush? I'm going to use this one. This is a MAC 116 brush. And I'm going to take some of this. You don't need a lot at all. It's pretty pigmented. And I'm just tapping this on my cheeks, bringing it pretty high up. This gives that like winter look. I know it looks crazy right now, but we're gonna tame it down a little bit. I'm applying some to my nose and kind of just rubbing over where that bake was. And also applying some to my forehead to tie it all together. And then to dust away the bake, I'm taking this Morphe E48 brush and just tapping underneath my cheekbones and dusting it away under my eyes. And like going over that blush as well to smooth any edges and make it a little bit less harsh. And this blush is going to fade. So I know it looks crazy right now, but it already looks a little bit better. But it does get better, I promise. We're gonna add a little bit of cream blush though, to give it a little bit more like dewiness. So I'm gonna use the Milk Lip and Cheek in the shade Work, and I'm applying this to the back of my hand. It's a little stick. You guys have seen me use this so much. And it's a very similar shade to the Buxom Dolly blush that we just used. So I'm going to take some of that on my sponge and just tap higher up on my cheekbone to give a little bit more of like a dew. Yeah, that's the blush. We might go in later with this Patrick Ta blush. This is a Monochrome Moment Velvet Lip Blush. Why did I say velvet lip? Velvet Blush in the shade She's Passionate. I used this the last time I did this look to give it like even more of this like sunburnt vibe. But I used a lot of that Dolly blush, so I might not need to do that. But I wanted to let you know that I did use this the first time that I did it. So now we can finish up the lower lash line. I'm going to go into that Morphe palette with that light blue shade that we used and a smaller brush. This is the Morphe M456. It's pretty small. And I'm taking some of that on the tip of the brush and I'm just blending that across the entire lower lash line. And I'm blending it into that deeper blue on the outer part. Now I did, like when I cleaned up the shadow with the makeup wipe, I didn't go directly against it because now we have that dark blue there and it adds some depth on the outer corner. And then I'm gonna take that smaller brush that we used earlier with the deeper shades and I'm gonna take that Twilight shade, just the tiniest bit, and I'm going to create a little like cat eye, like fox wing thingy. You guys have seen me do this before, but I'm just going to extend my like inner corner kind of. Just a little bit. It's like barely noticeable, but you can see a slight difference there. I find that doing this just makes your look like a little bit more like high end almost, because it has that like really blown out look. So now I'm just going to take another small brush. I think I'm just gonna use this one. This is the Morphe X Nikita N1 brush and that sky shade right there. And just bring that on the inner part of my lower lash line so it all kind of connects like that. And it's kind of like an inner corner like highlight shade almost. I'm just gonna do some pencil liner in our waterline. So I'm using the ColourPop BFF Creme gel liners. The ones that I used were Prance and Icebreaker. I think I mixed them together. So we're gonna start with Prance, which is this blue one, and apply this in the waterline. And then I'm gonna take the Icebreaker shade and apply that on top. So now we're gonna curl our lashes and do mascara. The mascara that I used was this Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. It's really good. So I'm gonna apply a few coats of this, and I'm gonna mainly focus it like on the outer parts of my lashes to really make that like wispy look. Okay, so these are the lashes done. As you can see, I like barely applied any to the inner lashes, and it's really just focused on the outers, and even on my lower lash line I did the same thing. So yeah, the eyes are done. Now we can do some highlight. So I'm gonna use a powder highlight first. This is the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Daybreak Glimmer. It's like a gold one. It kind of contradicts with the eyes a little bit. This is what I used last time and it looked really good. So I'm just gonna do it again. And I'm using this Morphe like pencil brush. And I'm going to first apply it to the tip of my nose and the bridge. I blend that out with my finger a little bit. And then I don't think I applied it to my cheeks. I think I just used this L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion Natural Glow Enhancer. This is in the shade Light Glow. So I'm just gonna shake it up a little bit and apply it to the back of my hand. And I'm taking my sponge and I'm just gonna tap this on my cheekbones, a little bit on my chin and my cupid's bow, and then a little bit on the sides of the forehead. That's the highlight all done. It just adds like a nice glow. Now we can move on to lips. So the lips are actually like a lip that I do all the time. It's the Kylie Cosmetics Kendall lip liner in the shade Sister Sister, and the lip blush in Sister Sister, and then that's like my go-to everyday lip. And then but I added the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Ice on top, so it looks a little bit juicier. So I'm going to line my lips after I sharpen my pencil. So the lips are lined. Now we can fill them in with the lip blush, which is the exact same shade. So there's that. I'm gonna wait for it to dry down a little bit to apply the gloss, so we can do the brows in the meantime. I'm gonna use this Morphe R44 brush to brush them up, and then we're gonna use the Makeup Revolution soap styler to make them super fluffy, and then maybe fill them in with some Glossier Brow Flick to like even them out a little bit. So I'm going to take my soap and my setting spray, which is the Patrick Ta Major Glow Dewy Milk Mist. I'm just spraying some of it in there. And then I'm just running the soap through the brow pretty lightly. While we wait for the soap to dry down, I'm going to apply the gloss. Again, this is in the shade Ice. It's basically just a clear gloss, but it makes them look a lot fuller. I'm just gonna wipe off the tip because since it is pretty much clear, I don't want like the lip color to get in there. Maybe I'll add a touch of that Patrick Ta blush just so that it's all the same, like literally like 1 or 2 little taps, because I know how pigmented it is. The brows should be dried down a little bit. I'm going to take this side of the spoolie and press the brow hairs down. And then run the spoolie through it again so that they're not plastered to our face. And they look fluffier. And then just to even out the brows a little bit, I'm going to take the Glossier Brow Flick in the shade Brown and just fill in like the end of this brow a little because it's a little bit more sparse than this one. I take that Patrick one again and just set this down the entire look done. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try it because it is really colorful, but it makes you feel pretty. Like, I feel so pretty in this and like high fashion. Like, I don't even know. I love this look so much. So yeah, I'm gonna take my little clips out. If you want more looks, or you can leave me some video suggestions. I have a few new products I want to try, so I'm going to make a video or two on those products. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you want to see more videos from me, obviously thumbs it up and subscribe. I'm close to 200 subscribers, which is really exciting. So yeah, thumbs it up, like it, go check out my Instagram and my TikTok and all that. And yeah, I'll have the products listed below. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go now. Bye.